Hello, I'm Matti Kaulio at KTH Industrial Management. In today's lecture we will look deeper into the concept of business models. Business models have today become a buzzword. You hear about it in the news, managers are constantly looking at new business models, and researchers and business commentators are explaining the rise and fall of new as well as old companies in terms of changing business model. So what is then a business model? Why is it interesting? And what constitutes a business model? In this lecture we will run through those three questions. What is a business model? Why is there such a great interest in business models? And what constitutes a business model? Let's start with the first question. A business model describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers and captures value. In this definition we have a number of keywords. First of all, value. Value for a specific customer segment. Then delivers. There must be a way how this value is distributed to the customer segment. Creates refers to configurations of resources, activities as well as partner that realizes this customer value. Finally, capture. Capture refers to how the revenue generated is divided between the supplier and the customer. And the last point here is a nice way of saying, how do we charge the customer? Let's continue with the interest in business model. The explanation why there is such a great interest in business model can be found in a number of companies that has entered the marketplace. These new entrants has delivered new ways of delivering customer value that challenge the existing companies in industries or that create new industries. In other words, they delivered something new in new ways and thereby they changed the dynamics of several different industries. Why is this interesting for established companies then? Well, established companies are often stuck in their old success. The key success factor that they built their success on might, in a changing business environment, change into what's called core rigidities. Those core rigidities are something that creates inertia in the organization and that prevents change and evolution. In order to meet this challenge, established companies are now trying to reinvent themselves, and that means they are focusing on restructuring their business model. What constitutes then a business model? Well, a business model in its most general form is composed by 5 basic components. We have the customer segment, we have the business system, and we have a value proposition. Linking those 3 basic components together, we have a very basic value chain with an emphasis on the customers as well as the value proposition. This is, however, not enough. We also need a cost structure as well as a revenue stream. Here we have the 5 basic components that you will find in any business model that you are meeting. Linking them together and seeing the relationship between them is then the challenge when you're building a new business model. In order to develop a tool that could support the development of new businesses as well as the restructuring of other one, 2 researchers, Alexander Osterwalder and Uwe Pigneur, developed a template that should support teams in this process. They call it a canvas. And a canvas refers to something that is between the creative napkin that you're having when you're sitting in the restaurant and coming up with a very bright idea and the full business plan that is written and takes months to write. The idea with this plan was that it should be easy enough so a team in a few hours could get a good hold on a business idea. It should support teamwork and it should show relations between key components on a sufficient level of details. They came up with a 9-component model. And as we can see when we run through this model, we recognize a customer part here. In this case, broken down into three parts: customer segments, channels, as well as customer relationship. So there is a distinction between how we distribute the product as well as how we keep the relationship. The next one, the value proposition, you recognize also this one in the center, and then we have the business system part. In this case, broken down into three pieces, also this one: key activities, key resources, as well as partner network. And the last one emphasizes the important decision in most organizations: should we make or should we buy this service or this component? We also add a financial part in this model, which links to a cost structure as well as a revenue stream. And thereby we have the full business model canvas. Taking together, this model presents 9 key components important when developing or evaluating new businesses. Summarizing this, a business model describes how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. Key components in its most basic form are customer, value proposition, business system, cost structure, and revenue model. And Osterwalder's model is something, an extension of this basic model, which is a very useful tool for teams in order to develop new businesses or extend and reinvent existing ones. That's about it. Thank you for listening.